Hi, this is Scott. Welcome back to another Hollinger Team video blog. This question or this video kind of follows the how's the market kind of question that comes up all the time. And every spring we get a publication from the Montana Association of Realtors that breaks down all the different associations in the state and their multiple lists and what their last year activity was like and compared it to the previous year. And I always find that quite interesting because Montana is a big state, has a lot of different economies and other business opportunities and attractions and things like that. So I like putting this one together, and this one came out, and we went through it. We created some graphics for you to see here, and certainly call with any questions you have from them. But I was trying to figure out, well, what would be the best way to present all this information? Should I go east to west, west to east, things like that? And I thought, well, the Flathead Valley certainly has been super strong, a wild ride, I guess is a good description. I thought, well, let's take a look to see which were the most steady or predictable type markets, and then kind of move through the state from the steady, predictable markets to the wild ride markets. And so here we go. First off, we're going to, and we don't go east to west on these either. I'm just going to throw Billings and Bozeman, I'm going to throw Billings and Butte into the same mix as the first ones to talk about, because in Billings, they had no increase in the number of home sales between 2019 and 2020. And in the condominium market, it actually went down a little bit. So it's like Billings has a great economy. It's we got oil, ag, all transportation, all kinds, and recreation, and all kinds of things going on there. So they have a broad market to appeal to. And I think over the years when I've done these, it's been pretty steady. Same thing with Butte. I think maybe there's some opportunity. I guess I should back up a little bit. There's probably opportunities in both of those markets because things are shifting throughout the country, and it appears that maybe these are going to be some of the undiscovered locations. The other one's Butte, same thing, same number of transactions of homes last year compared to the year before. Median price on both Billings and Butte went up a modest amount, 6% in Billings and 8% in Butte. One of the interesting things about Butte was they have very little or very few, it appears, condominiums and townhomes in that city. And as I was looking at that statistic, I thought, well, if somebody's looking for maybe a place to move, and maybe even if you can't find a home or something like that, find some townhome lots and build a townhome lot and live in one and rent the other or something like that. But I guess I would see these as opportunities or up-and-coming markets where if things continue as they are, then certainly we will see different numbers out of those two communities. The second group of properties would be the ones that I would just say are strong growing markets, looking in the teens, lower teens as far as the increase in number of transactions per year. So, better than 10%. And then appreciation or an increase in the median sales price in the teens also. So I guess probably what you would just call kind of steady growth communities in the state. And actually that was a majority. We have two that were the very, very constant markets, Butte and Billings. And then we've got about 5 in the state that are what I would call the growth markets that are good, steady growth. And then we've got 2 more at the end here that are the wild west markets, and we'll talk about those. But first, the 5 in the state that are kind of the steady markets: Great Falls, Helena, Missoula, Hamilton and the Gallatin area, the Bozeman area. You might think Bozeman, it's unusual to see Bozeman in the market where that you would call kind of the middle of the range, but we'll visit a little bit about that too. It is a super strong market there in the state for sure. Some of the interesting things, maybe starting with Great Falls, is the residential side has been good. The single-family dwellings, and then the condominium market especially had done real well. It went up 20%, had about a 12% increase. So Great Falls, just a good steady growth, middle of the state, a lot of economy in that area. Probably we'll see those numbers kind of stay pretty similar this year in comparison with last year when we do this thing again. Helena had about almost a 25% increase in the number of condominium sales there. So it's a strong market there for condominiums. And residential was up good, 14%. Number of transactions, a 10% increase in median price there. Just a good, strong market. Again, a good economy there. Government, state capital and federal offices and things like that fuel a lot of that. Missoula has been plugging along pretty steadily. We talk a little bit about Hamilton also, and that the whole Bitterroot Valley, it's all somewhat tied together. But Missoula saw pretty steady sales on everything, all just a good increase in the number of transactions, a good steady increase in the median price. And maybe just a quick pause here in these comments is that one of the factors that's going to come into play in the statistics as we report them later this year and then do a year-end or a year recap on the state about the same time next year is very, very, very limited number of properties for sale in these markets. I mean, just a fraction of what they were a year ago. And that is going to reflect somewhat in either just a leveling off in the number of transactions or perhaps even a decline. New construction will pick up some of that gap, but there's all kinds of factors as far as labor, materials, and just kind of bottlenecking on some of the building side of it. The Bitterroot Valley had, I just mentioned that kind of plays in with Missoula. Bitterroot Valley had 100% increase in the number of condominium and townhome sales. So that was a market that was fulfilled a lot of demand, and I don't know if it's people that are totally relocating there or maybe commuting to and from Missoula, but that was just a huge number. I thought that was kind of interesting. Bozeman had a 14% increase in the number of home sales. Prices did go up quite a bit, 16% in the median price, and the word that I get from talking with people down there is it's a very, very strong market there, very limited inventory. That market also in the townhome and condominium market had a huge increase, almost 25% there. So a lot of people that are looking for some type of housing are seeking that out, and part of it's just the convenience that's offered by being in a condominium or townhome situation for people that don't want to be able to come and go whenever they want or aren't going to be gardeners or anything like that. Now on to the two strongest markets in the area, and that's the Flathead Valley and Livingston area, the Paradise Valley east of Bozeman, which has become a strong bedroom community to Bozeman. We'll talk about Livingston first. Livingston saw a 22% increase in the number of home sales there, and they saw a 15% increase in median home prices there. So, very, very strong market. Then you go to the condominiums in Bozeman, and a 50+% increase in the number of transactions there, and almost a 30% increase in the median price there. So some of these communities that are fairly close to each other in the state kind of tend to drive the market one way or the other, and I think that's a great example of what's going on there. And then up in the Flathead Valley here, and a lot of this is just firsthand knowledge, but and I've talked about this in the past, but we saw a 24% increase in the number of home sales here last year compared to the year before, and a 38% increase in the number of condominiums. And I've talked about this before as an example on Flathead Lake. Last year, I think there were 70 some condominiums that closed, and right now 1 or 2 perhaps are even for sale. We've brought a couple on the market, and we've had offers over ask price, multiple offers over ask price, and a sale within days of the property coming on the market. That trend is going to continue, mainly because we just don't have the number of properties for sale in the entire area or in the multiple list that we've seen in the past, and the demand is remaining quite high right now. Interest rates are good. Hope this was helpful, interesting, thought-provoking, maybe some opportunity for those that want to invest in real estate would come to light for you. Please share this video with your friends. Subscribe to our channel. Questions, happy to answer them. Have a great spring coming up. And thank you for watching another Hollinger Team video blog.